Hello, my name is Marcus and welcome to the top 50 games of all time. This time it is number 30 through 29. So very soon we'll be halfway done with this year's list. Super amazing. We still got quite a few new games to go, but also some games that probably dropped off the list. So let us go for number 30, The Mind. That is all new to the list, and whilst I do have it, I keep it in the Wingspan card containers. So they're over there on a shelf, and I could bring them out, but I was just showing that container. But The Mind is this very fun cooperative game where no one is allowed to say anything, and you have to try and put your cards down in numerical order. And that can be very challenging because if you have number three, like, come on, number one, number two, anyone? It is super challenging. It's super stressful, but it is super fun. The Mind, number 30. In at number 29, it is another game that I unfortunately have had to sell recently, just like War Chest, where it's like, not because I don't like it, it just doesn't hit the table and I need to clear out some space in here. It is Flamecraft, dropping down from number 17, that is 12 spots down. Just recently had the trailer for Flamecraft Duels, so that will be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that one. Maybe if there's a chance to get Flamecraft again, I might just buy it again, because honestly I really like Flamecraft, and that could mean a Flamecraft draw grows on the list one again. But right now it's number 29. You are controlling a dragon, going around in visiting the many marketplaces around the table, firing up some dragons and scoring a bunch of points, helping one-to-one with humans. I never quite understood why you were a dragon going around firing up dragons or something. It's a little bit of a mixed match there, but it is super beautiful artwork, amazing components, and yeah, Flamecraft is a really great game, but it's dropped down to 29th, 12 spots, it's a lot. In 28th, it is the last game from Unstable Games, and it is a brawler. It's free for all. That was number 14 last year, so it's dropped down by twice the amount, down to 28th place on this list here. It is Casting Shadows, and I have the base box just over here. And this is a brawler. That was a rulebook. This is a brawler game. You are on a field of battle, which is made up of hexagons, and some of the hexagons contain to certain characters, and thereby giving them abilities. Abilities when they're on that one, and it's just about defeating your opponent. Like, there's no points, there's no like point scoring or other ways of winning. It is just last man standing wins in the game. So it dropped down to 14th, and again, this is a lot down to the many new games that are in here, but also a few that have risen for me, and we will not quite reach those this top 10, but the next 10 we'll reach them, games that have sort of risen quite a lot actually. As I said, the highest climb is a 16 points climb. So some games I'm going to have to drop because of that, and there's still quite a few new games to get to here. So number 28 is Casting Shadow. In 27th spot we have another dropper. One that was being contemplated to be in the top 10, to be honest. But it has dropped down to 27 from 19, so that is 8 points dropped down, and it is just over here. It's not a sort of deck building game. It is Maple Valley and the Creature Comforts series, which they have of course recently announced an all new one, which will be reaching Kickstart this year, I believe. The River, I think it's called, so that's looking forward to that one, of course. Creature Comforts. A little spoiler here, it is going to show up in my top 10, don't you worry about it, in my top 50, sorry, not the top 10 necessarily. It's going to show up, don't you worry about that one, but yeah, Maple Valley shows up here, dropped down by 8 spaces, staying along with, and then the same 10. And again, this is mostly down to all the new games, but also a few that have really risen on my list. We'll talk about those soon enough. But yeah, Maple Valley 27th here is a great little game where you're moving around your little meeple and doing that through some deck building aspects where you're trying to get the correct cards, so you can move through the correct lines, but you also need to score points by making some cards. So it's a balancing of having the cards to move around, but also building the cards that really going to score your points. Maple Valley there. And 26th is another game that dropped. It was actually just above Maple Valley last year as well, and 18th. So these two are going along side by side here, and this is a drafting game. This time it's not cards. You are drafting dinosaurs. It's called Draftsaurus. It goes down from 18th to 26th, so also another 8-point drop, just like Maple Valley. Draftsaurus is pretty fun. We've played it a bit more this year and stuff, and it still remains a really fun drafting game where you're drafting dinosaurs to place into your dinosaur park and score points on them. It's really difficult to score the points, and if you don't leave the correct things open for the correct times, you have trouble. But when is the correct time? You have no way of knowing. So that is Draftsaurus there in 26th place, and now we are halfway through. Yes, halfway through this list, because we are now reaching the 25th spot here and crossing that halfway line. We've now gone through 25 already, and we're missing 25. Yeah, whatever. It is another 2-player game. This one is fairly new, came out in 2023, but now we own it and played it, and it is actually super fun. It's not one way, it's cooperative, and you can't tell anything about what is going on. It's right over here on my 2-player shelf called Sky Team. Don't know if you heard that, but everything just fell around in the box. That's the downside of some boxes sometimes. But yeah, Sky Team right here. What a fun game it was. I thought, when I heard about it, at first I thought I wasn't going to like it. Then I played it with a mate who had it, and it was actually really fun, so I wanted to get it. I got it from my Secret Santa, not the international version, the Danish specific version. And I am telling you that it is a really fun game, Sky Team here. You are sitting there in silence trying to communicate through the dice, and then through each round you get to talk, and you just sit there like, what the hell? What did you do that? Or how did we manage to complete it? It's super fun. It's another new game to the list, debuting here at 25th. But if you're keeping track, you will know this is not the highest debut on this list, because already next game is an all new game, which is actually in the bag here. We brought it last time that we were out playing board games. We didn't get it played that time, but we have played it, and it is a fun game. And I did a review of it where I really break down it, and I loved it. I loved the theme and how it did, and it is Donald Duck in Happy Camper. An all new Donald Duck game came out, carrying it as this year because that's when I got it. And it's a really fun game. I did a review of it very recently, still sitting in the table. It says 2 to 4 players. It's 2 or 4. The 3-player rules I don't really like that much. It's 2 or 4 players, but at that player count, especially at the 4 players, it's a really fun game trying to complete tasks to get Jewel, to get the badges, badges to show you've done it, but also just pitching a bunch of tents to score points, because the more tents you pitch, the more points you get. Debuting here on the list at 24. Now we have another game that was actually mentioned, that was alongside Draftsaurus and Maple Valley, just below these games last year. But this year it is above them, so you can say it sort of has risen a bit, being above some of these games that are dropped below it. It was 20th last year, now it's 23rd, so that's just a drop of only 3. It is a game from one of my favorite companies currently. Like, it's really growing on me. Chili Fox Games. It is Riverside, a simple little roll and writes where you roll some dice, move a ship down the coastline, and try to visit as many cities as possible to get as many passengers on board as possible, to score as many points as possible. Yeah, Riverside is just a really great game. The scoring does stump some people when they play it, but to me it's easy to go through, and I think it's just really awesome, and it is short. I think that's one of the most important things to it, is that it plays fairly quickly. So whilst other abstracted games like this one, they don't play as quickly, so you get stuck on with some things. But that is Riverside at 23rd. 22nd spot is another one that has actually dropped by twice the amount, so it's gone from 11th to 22nd, so 11 drops right there. Just on the verge of the top 10 last year. Not this time, it's on the verge of the top 20. Still isn't quite making it, but it's still a great game, and I just recently got the expansion for it, which makes it just a tiny bit better, but is it enough to get it up there? Who knows, maybe next year we'll see. But it is Parks, one of the best, the best base game production, retailer version productions you are going to see on the market. The production for Parks is amazing, and there's always going to be such a huge bump up for it. Amazing artwork, amazing components, and the gameplay is such a solid experience. And it's great at all the player counts, 2 to 5. I don't play solo as always, but 2 to 5 is just a really solid, great player count. And the expansion, wildlife expansion, wildlife expansion. Not the Nightfall expansion, don't like that one, but wildlife expansion really adds to it and makes it a little bit better. Such a great game. I'm looking forward to the second edition. Maybe that'll change, maybe this one will fall off and the second one will come on. Or am I going to have them both on here? Probably not. 22nd is Parks. And in 21st, the last one for this list before I reach the top 20, it is a game which has dropped out of the top 10. Yeah, it's the first one we're going to hear of this one. It was 8th last year and it drops all the way down to 21st. That is a 13-point drop. Not the largest drop at all, but it is pretty interesting to see a top 10, which honestly also was in my top 10 in 23, I'm pretty sure, at least, drop all the way out. And I'm gonna have to walk up and go right over here to find the game. I don't know if I'm off screen or not right now, but I'm talking loudly to make sure you can hear me. And you have right here the wine crate of viticulture. 8th place has been in my stable in my top 10, but it's dropped all the way down to 21st because of all the new amazing games and also some games really rising up the list. We're going to see them next time because the ones that have really risen up the list are actually going to show up in the top 20, not in the top 10. Viticulture just drops outside. We haven't played it a lot recently, I will say, and I think the all new expansion, the Viticulture World Cooperative expansion, just had left a little bit of sour taste. It wasn't terrible, like by any means, but it definitely wasn't amazing either. Left a little bit of bad taste. I do want to get it back to the table and get it played again. Maybe it'll rise a little bit if we get it played, but it is still a really great game. It is the 21st best game in the world. That says a lot. That's about 25,000 games. But yeah, Viticulture really is still a great game. Still love it. Just need to play it a little bit more, then it probably will rise up the list again here in 21st. But that is it for this one. Next time we will take on the top 20 games of all time, and it's going to be super duper interesting, amazing. I'm looking forward to doing that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!